For some people, different people around the world, some of them might have cooler weather, some of them might have hotter, some of them are used to hotter. Others might have air conditioners that keep their whole place cooler, where ours is struggling to survive.
Especially working perfectly because I am freezing.
You get cold easy. I've already told you if you're cold, there's plenty of blankets, there's sweaters, and other stuff to bulk up on, so you're no longer cold.
Plenty of blankets. Wonder where they could be.
Yeah, your butt's on top of them.
Here. I forgot to say this. This thing on top of this thing. Yay.
Probably gonna need to readjust my little mouse thing over here or something for my elbows, or just get another one. There is a couple of others on Amazon I'm eyeing that have dragons, so I'm like, here there be dragons. So for those of you who are here, keep an eye on the Discord, because after this weekend, my streaming schedule is going to slightly change. It's kind of going to go back more towards the way it was before. I started the main yarn cruise, not 100% quite the way before, but close, if that makes sense. So,
No, it does not.
child, did I ask you?
Who cares?
So my normal schedule was Monday through Friday, which with the yarn cruise stuff, I have swapped it Sunday through Thursday. So I'll be kind of bringing Fridays back. I don't know if I'll take Sundays out or not. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Sundays, as I have enjoyed doing Sunday afternoon streams. Or I may just have Sundays be a longer day of streaming, like 8 to 12 hours or something. I don't know yet. What?
Maybe 12 hours.
Yeah, like a full-time job on Sunday. For one day. I am making a cardigan. It's a lace pattern that has, where it kind of looks like waves and leaves. Give me a moment to finish this row, and I'll kind of lay it down so you can see the pattern. We are currently working on the back part of the cardigan. Exclamation point pattern will get you the link to the pattern, so you can see a full picture of what it should look like when done. All right. So I don't know how well you can see that, but it kind of gives a waves and like a leaf design kind of texture. Let me push that further. Oh, that's as far as it's going to go. So, chat, you may find me keeping a closer eye on my tablet. Last night, Ghost Scout could attest to this because we were chatting. Just making sure we were all up to date. And since Ghost has been away for a little bit with work, as I was chatting, I was watching one of my camera's live feeds in pure disbelief. But we had literally like at 9:42 p.m. last night, some chick going on my porch, back porch, prowling around looking through things. Usually that type of behavior doesn't start happening until like 11 o'clock at the earliest in the evening, all the way to at least 2, 3 in the morning. And so for a moment I was stupefied, like, wait, this is really happening? So my neighborhood, we have a Facebook chat that we kind of call our neighborhood watch, or like the hood watch as we kind of joke about it. I posted that on there and I'm like, you know, we got something here, let's get moving. This person skedaddled it out of the area so fast, but then all of us kind of got out, looked around at our apartments so quickly, like we missed them by maybe half a minute. Yeah. It was almost like a bunch of angry killer hornets were on the hunt. One of my neighbors came charging out with a baseball bat.
Really? I got that.
Me, I have 2 fry pans near my back door. One of them's a cast iron skillet, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Just be like,
We've had a lot of people that are under the influence of different type of illegal substances, hanging around and stealing stuff. So, and there's a lot of us with kids, so we've been taking that quite seriously at this point. Yes, my child?
I have scissors and sharp pencils and I'm not afraid to use them if I have to.
Okay, well, I don't think a sharp pencil's going to get you very far, kid.
Hey, I can throw it at them and stab them.
So I do apologize if I seem a little tired. That would be why. All of us were on edge for like the entire night.
I heard voices and I was freaked out for some degree.
Yeah, I think you came and stuck your head out asking,
Yeah, I
what's
did.
going on?
I was like, what are you doing? But when I hear random voices, I get scared. Like, I do not like hearing random voices. I always do every
But let me just put it this way, like I said, usually when stuff like that happens, well, that's why I stayed up late with Fuzzy, was because I was like, are they going to come back? Because they were clearly checking out the area, you know, and a lot of people that are going to do stuff, they check the area out first before they do anything. I stayed up till almost 2 in the morning just making sure no one came by again. And then I checked all of my cameras, the feed this morning, nothing. So it's like, okay, phew. But yeah, it was. I was not expecting it, and as I said, usually stuff like that happens. It's at the earliest 11:30, usually at the earliest p.m.
Really?
Yeah,
I know
this
it's
was like
definitely
not even 10.
It's definitely not 11.
Yeah, definitely not 11. You are correct, child.
Yeah, I want to put a meme in there, but why?
But then Fuzzy was playing an awesome game last night. Brand new, 2 days old, just came out. That game was intense.
Intense concentration. Ew.
The game we're talking about, for those who are wondering, is called Mortuary's Assistant. So the basic gist of it is, yes, you are preparing bodies for like the funeral stuff and whatnot. However, you got an added twist of demon/demon possession, and all of that happening. So it makes the game much more intense. And it would seem like apparently there's multiple endings.
I love multiple ending games. I love games with multiple endings.
Yes, but child, this is definitely not one for you to watch. And then we joke that it seemed like Fuzzy several times broke the game, but with it so brand spanking new, it's bound to have a couple of glitches.
Broke the game. Really?
Yeah, we're here to reset it.
You're breaking the game?
With it brand new, it's bound to have glitches, especially if a bunch of people are playing it.
Oh yeah, because security breach could have glitches. Matt brought that up in one day. It was just like, how did I get here when I was all the way over there? Like, he could have teleported through the ground.
I'm not gonna lie, this is my first time working with alpaca wool. And not just that, but doing this type of pattern. Even though the wool is a little bit more expensive than, say, going to Joann's or Walmart, it's really nice. Because a lot of times my fingers with a lot of wool, even if it's merino wool, I wouldn't say it break out, but it's almost like it dries my skin out. So kind of like the opposite of wearing like the latex gloves where your skin is just like drenched in sweat and clammy. Yeah, you know. It's like my skin does the opposite, and it almost becomes dry with most wool, where it's almost like my skin almost becomes patchy and scaly is the best way to describe it. Which all I have to do for that is just put some lotion on, not a big deal. Most wool in general, regardless of what type of animal it comes from, if I do a lot with it or if I'm working a lot with it, so like kind of like the amount, I've been doing this like almost every day for, counting on and off stream, at least 8 to 12 hours for this past week. Not quite, so there's a couple of days it's probably about 4 to 6. And I have not had the usual scaly dry patches I usually do in working with any type of animal wool. So I am really enjoying working with this yarn. I am very pleasantly surprised. And sometimes it's not the wool that agitates my skin. Sometimes it could just be whatever they used as a dye, like whatever chemicals were used. And I'm not getting that at all. So this is really good yarn. I'd say worth the money. So I'd probably say if I'm to do more clothing per se, so like hats, like fingerless gloves, or like, you know, cardigans or clothing, I'll probably want to invest in this nicer yarn. But plushes, for the most part, I could do whatever, like at Wally World. Or like some of my fun costume hats. Oh, so Ghost, something to think about if you're able to. I mean, I'm going to have to see how things are with my finances if I can. I want to do it. I'm fingers crossed that I'll be able to do it after I move, whenever that happens. But I want to do the Northern New England Yarn Haul and the Maine Yarn Cruise next year. I already have a couple of other individuals that they like the idea, and we're going to try to see if we can do it. But like kind of like we kind of do it all together. Now originally most of us were kind of thinking the way we'd probably do it would be like caravanning in our own cars, and that's kind of why we were looking at, well, would this work, or carpooling and chip in towards gas. But you know, with some of them where we only have the Northern Yarn Haul, we only have like 1 month. And so we're like, okay, we're going to have to do about like 2 weeks, you know, like vacation and travel to each of these stores. You know, would that be doable? And the only problem we were thinking, you know, with the ones I was discussing it with, was the cost of like somewhere to sleep. So I'm like, you know, if we do this, why not look at possibly renting like a camper minivan? So if you've seen like the movies like Escape to Witch Mountain, like a van like that. And so people could still be buckled in the back. We could have whatever on the TV, and whoever's not driving, they could be doing whatever fiber in the back, you know, and all chatting. And if need to be, we could camp at like, you know, in some cases like a Walmart parking lot or an actual campsite.
I could also be playing games in the back.
Or you could be playing games, or other people playing games with you.
Yay.
And I had briefly mentioned that to a couple of them that are interested in joining and doing that. And they're like, ooh, I like the idea with the camper. Because most camper vans, not the full big long bus thingies, the one where it's like almost like a minivan, most of them could comfortably sleep, and this is doubling up, about 6 to 8. Yeah, in some of the areas, well, you know, with parking, we'd probably need a smaller vehicle. But I think the idea with the camper as well would be a good idea. And if, like, whoever has a smaller vehicle, like you with the Jeep, we'd probably need to make sure we have some sort of walkie-talkie or something that we could still chat and converse with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like some sort of, like, video chat hooked up. But I just think it'd be awesome to do. And that way, you know, we'll have multiple drivers. So at least having one other driver that could drive with you in a Jeep. And then at least one, you know, or two others in the camper van if we do it that way. But I was just thinking, if we looked at like the prices of like if everybody, carpooled, and not everybody does good, like squished up against each other, you know what I'm saying? And then like the cost of like somewhere to sleep, that had a way for us to cook kind of deal. I was just thinking, it'd probably be cheaper to do a camper van because most campers will have a way to cook, like they have a little kitchenette, you know. Yeah. And I mean, if we do it that way, where, if we do go and we have like you and possibly maybe one other vehicle, smaller vehicle, like for the most part, like when we're traveling, we could have maybe one or two people in the other vehicles, and then the rest of the vehicle be stored with like the food or our yarn supplies like that we got at the store or whatnot. And then when we go do the traveling, we swap it out once we found a place to park the camper.
I don't know why I love this one now.
But yeah, a couple of the people that I know would be all over this, like Bard Girl, and I've briefly mentioned it to like my sister and Emo Fox Girl, like they really like the idea. And then at least like if we do it at a campsite, we could have some tents for a few people that would prefer tents instead of being in a camper. Only if you want to. I mean, there may be people who prefer being in a tent. I'm sure depending on how we have it set up, there might be people who prefer being in a hammock as well. Right. But yeah, so the yarn haul, the Northern New England yarn haul, is only with the month of July. So, by the time I found it, there was like 1 week left of this last month, and I was like, there was just no way. But I'm like, I could plan for next year. I could save up for it. And if I tried to do the yarn cruise about the same time, because a couple of the stores that I saw on here, 2 of the stores are on the yarn cruise. So the only downside with one of the stores we're going to run into no matter what we do.
Mom's outside.
All right. Have fun shopping.
Well, she's coming in.
Okay, that means I gotta hide what I'm working on.
Alright.
So my mom's doing an appointment for my nephew. She's here coming into the bathroom. All right, so I gotta hide what I'm working on, chat.
I can put it in my room.
No, it will just be easier.
Okay, alright. Don't tell.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, so I'll be right back, chat. Alright, chat, I will be right back. Looks like I'm going to temporarily work on a different project since my mother cannot see what I'm currently working on and she's here visiting. For a little bit.
I almost got her.
So, give me a moment to find something else.
Since she's done, we'll head out.
Yay. Yeah.
Oh, it's like, ooh.
Yeah. Oh, where's fun? Alright, let's go. Have 2 lights.
Alright, give me a moment more. Gotta find a pattern, but I'll work on my dad's Christmas gift.
Oh, hey, there's another person here.
Kat, we will know by March if this is happening, right? I think so. That would be a good way to know if we'd be able to do that ghost. What?
Do you want to go to these now, or do you want to write?
You want us to go now? Would it be easier?
care?
I don't particularly care either way.
I
It
think
works.
you
It's
wanna come
all.
along,
For what?
BJ?
They're asking if you want to go shopping.
And it's hot out. Yeah. I'm just asking if she wants to come along.
I
Get
got
out of the
perfect.
house. I guess not. Okay. Okay. We'll see you in a bit.
All right. Well,
Die.
I'll still have the backup pattern. You know.
Yay, I'm dead. I love how the instructor just casually watches the octopus.
Bye
turn
and
me
bye.
on.
I'll see you in a bit.
Okay. I love how the octopus just casually watches us die. He just watches us as the octopus turns us.
Indoor ones. It's the indoor and the outdoor one.
Fun. We spun around.
Okay, I'm good.
Bounce. Don't stop. Bounce. Do not. No. No stop. No.
Okay, so it looks like I do have a little bit more wiggle room. Because they're going straight shopping. But I'll need to pull up the tie pattern to be safe first. Because they'll be back, obviously. So, I do apologize. I'm working on my mother's Christmas gift, and I don't want her to see it. So, I'm going to have a backup project, which is going to be my younger brother's Christmas gift. Or I could also call it my father's Christmas gift. Let's just hope my younger brother does not come back inside.
Yay! Ow, yeah! Mom, I'm doing good.
I'm glad to hear you're doing good, my
And
child.
now the spin. We're spinning around.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record player, round, 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 round.
Into the Dream SMP and DMP. Let's see. Drat.
That'll be perfect since I could put in for the time off. Yeah, I will just, I can't necessarily make any promises because depending on how we do it will depend and how many people join. If I have it all planned and know ahead of time, it shouldn't be impossible. But,
Dead.
yeah.
Yes! This is my best score! What's up, Mom?
What, child?
Since you're the one you played it, you got 535 points!
Okay. So, my mother comes back, we have a backup project, and it's printing. And I can start saving this month, and it falls through, that money can go to something else.
I was doing good. Once
Yep, and in the way I see it is,
when the mini autos come in, we're
I'll start looking / pricing at rentals with the camper vans, unless we can find somebody that has one that they don't mind, either like a friend of mine letting me borrow or use, or someone that's joining along with has one we can use. I'm not particularly worried in that aspect, but yes. Though I kind of just realized doing my brother's Christmas gift, I need these same needles. So, let me, Crap. I need a backup project on that off chance.
another backup project.
Well, I just realized with Kyle's gift, he can come in and see what it is I'm making, and we don't really want that.
I'm doing good.
And then the other part too is I'm actually using the needles currently of what I would need.
I'm dead.
I love how the instructor just watches as we die.
Hopefully at least.
Just watches as we get carried off by the octopus. The giant octopus. Okay. Was it this or is that just my nickname? I don't know. Do octopus exist? Okay, octopus has double coins right about now, so let's go back in.
That's an idea.
No, wait, I know officially love this game. Now that I don't have to wear a costume with a headpiece, so my ponytails will come out. Yay!
That's another idea. So I do apologize because I'm just like, shoot, I didn't think this through. So I'm kind of kicking myself. Ooh, I like this idea. So we'll have this one as a potential backup. So that one. So we'll need about a US size 5, 3.75 millimeter, which I do have in that grouping. Put that over to the side. Which yarn do I want to use? Okay.
Yay!
We'll use that one for if I have to swap projects. So, fingers crossed and hopefully... Ah, good God!
Jenny.
So not only does my dragon have a snit, it looks like some of my alert stuff are having a snit. Alright, let it all refresh and we'll see. So backup project for like when my mom comes back, depending on how long she comes back for, it's going to be some leg warmers. Dark Moon Clover, hello and welcome in. How are you doing today? Don't mind me, I had a little bit of a panic. I am working on my mother's Christmas gift and she stopped by. So I'm trying to do what I can to
Oh, look! This is the second. Oh,
try to
geez,
do what I
this is
can
this guy.
to make sure she doesn't see it. Oh my gosh, and thank you for the follow. It does look like a couple of my sound alerts are acting up. Hang on. And I mean, I knew she was coming over. I knew my mother was coming over and all. But do you think I put two and two together that I didn't want my mother to see what it was I was making?
Look! Look, that's the price I got it!
So I'm not gonna lie,
I am loving this.
I'm like, oops. There we go. There's a follow sound.
So fun. Still double coins. So I can go back to the little bit. That's so fun.
All right. Yes, unfortunately, OBS is being a little bit of a butt again, so I do apologize. It's been doing this since my Mac had an update. Well, it's been actually doing it a little bit before the update, but yeah. Of course not, but that seems par course for everyone. Yeah. Yeah. Because I am enjoying working with this. So, I got this yarn from a local yarn store where I live in the state of Maine in the U.S. They're doing a Maine yarn cruise. So you cruise around, aka driving around the state to these different yarn stores, and you get your little passport thingy stamped with each store. Now, only 3 out of these 22 stores I'm going to that I've actually, 2 of them I've gone inside of previously. 1 I've driven by. I'm not gonna lie, one of the stores I didn't even know existed is like 3 blocks away from me. However, it's 3 blocks in a section I don't usually go to, and it's a one-way area, and traffic is nuts, and I usually try to avoid that section like the plague. So, I mean, I could be forgiven my not knowing it was there. But this was yarn from one of the stores I had driven by. It's the Maine Alpaca Experience. They have an alpaca farm, and this is wool that is specifically spun and dyed at this farm that I got. I've never really worked with alpaca before this. Really, really beautiful, nice yarn. I'm loving it, not gonna lie. And this is also my first time really attempting to do lace weight patterns, because, you know, I tried to go to like Walmart or Joann's, for example. You can't really find yarns that are thinner than a weight 3 unless you order online. Which, nothing wrong with ordering online, but I don't know about any of you. But I like to feel the yarn's texture. Or as I like to tease my sister, because she does have texture sensitivity. So if she wants me to make her something, I bring her along to yarn stores. And then I do a joke just because it gets reactions from her and everybody else around. I pretty much do the, okay, now go grope or now go molest the yarn to see which one you like best. Now, so I've had people at the store just look at me like, and my sister will just sometimes laugh. I've had a couple other people looking for yarn, because a lot of us that do yarn shopping will, you know, touch it to get an idea of texture. And I had one gal, she just starts laughing, and she's like, crap, I should be written up. And I'm like, why? She's like, because I'm a yarn molester. For some reason, most animal fibers cause hives for me. Ooh, that sucks, Dark Moon. And welcome in, Fuzzy. Yeah, usually most wool, I was actually just saying, kind of, it dries my skin out where it's almost scaly if I work with it a lot. And this alpaca wool blend has not done that at all. So I have been very much surprised and tickled pink. But I've been enjoying it, because like a lot of the yarns that I have wanted to get, but I didn't know like how it would feel touch-wise, and I didn't know the company well enough, and most of these were imported. They have them at these stores. So like one of the common ones is like the Cascade brand. They have those at the stores. And one of the stores we went to that my sister fell in love with, they have a lot of cotton. Now, most of the cotton I get from Joann's or Walmart. It's either on the spool or like the smaller one. One store, it's like Lily Sugar and Cream, and the other is like Peaches and Cream. This cotton kind of just has this weird, kind of like a waxy residue, if you will. And not sure how to describe it other than that. And then no matter what, it seems like the color from that cotton always bleeds out. And I discovered some cotton at one of these stores. It did not have that waxy residue. I'm not sure what it is. And I've asked people that used it, and they don't even deal with any color bleeding. Because little to no shops in Louisiana. Oh, that sucks. But I have added links on, some of them will show up here on stream. A couple, the others are in my Discord with the shops of the yarns that I've gotten. Um, so I have been very surprised. In fact, one of the cotton yarns is organic, recycled cotton. And the best way to describe it, it feels like terry cloth or like a towel. It literally feels like a towel. I'm actually looking forward to working with that yarn. Not sure what I want to make with it though, mind you. But I have been quite pleasantly surprised. Even my sister, because like most of the time with most of the yarns, like we go anywhere else, most of the yarns she doesn't care for the textures except for a few here and there. One of the stores we took her in, she's like, I actually like these. She was actually with one of them hard pressed to find a texture she did not like. And that in itself is extremely rare for my sister. And then the other final part that I'm loving with this yarn cruise is it's nice to know where some of these stores are, what they have, how big or small they may or may not be, how parking is, because a couple of the ones, parking is a royal joke. Let's just put it that way. And I don't know if any of you are like this as well. I would prefer to spend my money at small businesses over big corporations. Yes, I may have to pay more, but they, you know, the stuff they sell for the most part about 90% of the time is small local businesses or U.S. American made. And I have no issue supporting, you know, small businesses in general around the world. But I'd rather support those that are local in general. And most of these small local yarn stores, they have where it's small businesses from around the world. The best cotton I used, I was like, I love this cotton by Hobby Lobby. It was like 10 years ago that I bought any. Yes, I do like Hobby Lobbies. I love this cotton. But I have mixed feelings with Hobby Lobby in general with the way the store is and how they treat their employees, you know, stuff like that, and the things they stand for. So, but they do have good cotton. Small is always better. Your quality is always going to be better. Yeah, that's been my experience as well, because like some of the other bigger ones, it's a hit and a miss. I mean, that's why Yarn Brand, for the most part, of what I would see at like Joann's, for example, or Walmart, that is my usual to go to for like, you know, some of the bigger stuff where, you know, I have to use the cheaper acrylics. I usually go with Lion Brand because Lion Brand is a U.S. made, and for the most part, they are a relatively small business. They only have one official of their own store, and I believe that's in Massachusetts? It's either New York, Massachusetts, or New Hampshire. I don't remember which one, but one of those. But yeah, they ship their stuff all over to different stores, if you will. So, I mean, I think they've gotten relatively big, but they are, if you compare it to some of the other brands, more of a smaller American company where it's made in America, or at least it was. Whether or not it still is anymore, you know, because sometimes that's the downside when they get bigger, is they try to cut costs here and there, and that's where quality just starts going down the drain. Because they're looking for quantity over quality. And I have started noticing that of late with some of Lion Brand stuff where the quality is just, it's not what it used to be. That, and as much as I love Lion Brand, the one thing I do hate is I swear they discontinue yarns and dye lots way too soon, way too often. And then the other part with small businesses, I don't like crowds. Be it parking lot, be it people shopping. I hate crowds. Most of these smaller yarn stores, they don't have, and hang on, I need to check my cameras. They're not usually crowded. They might have 4 or 5 people at the most, both in a parking lot and in the store. Okay, good. Nothing to worry about. So, we've had a couple of prowlers scoping out the area. Not in a good way, so I've been keeping a better, closer eye on my camera. Because I think they would have stolen something last night, but, you know, my neighborhood has, like, a watch group, and I was like, dude, there's someone scoping it out, and we all came out of our apartments looking around like a bunch of pissed off, angry hornets. Or killer hornets, if you will. And we missed the individual by like 1 minute. For me, I was just shocked, because usually with stuff like that, that happens later in the night. I mean, this was like not even 10 o'clock. So, always keeping an eye on my camera of late. Yes, my
I'm
child?
doing way better at this. I'm able to get to the tiny octo guy.
Alright. So, for those wondering, you can kind of see it on screen. My daughter is playing Nintendo Land, and she's doing the octopus dance.
I'm
The
doing
section
better.
I think on that game is like one of the hardest games to do.
Metroid is actually the hardest.
I found Metroid to be a little easier, but then
Actually,
again,
it literally says Metroid's the hardest. It literally says Metroid's the hardest game.
it could say Metroid's the hardest, but I feel Metroid's a little easier than the octopus dance.
Good point.
So if you want to know what the pattern looks like of what I'm making, exclamation point pattern will get you that link.
Love that.
And I have a backup pattern just in case my mother's coming over to visit. So I can easily play the old swapperoo if need to be. Which, speaking of, child of mine, you need to clean up that section you're at. You hear me? Preferably before they come back. So Nana has a place to sit and whatnot.
I'm dead. I love how the octopus just glares at me, just like, heh heh, you messed up, heh heh heh. And then comes to kill me, just like, heh heh, you messed
What we
up.
assume it comes to kill you. I mean, we don't know. It just takes you out. I mean, who's to say? It might just take you out and toss you all out of the ocean. Be like, you suck at dancing. Get lost.
Good point, because it just comes, grabs us by the neck, just be like, nope, drags us off screen. We can only think that it kills us, but it might just be like, bye bye, you're getting out of here right now. Boy, you suck. It's like, get wrecked. Yoink. It's like, yoink. Trying to do the meme. No. Anyone know how to do that meme? Because I
Oh,
can't.
jeez.
What?
So we have partly cloudy. So whenever the sun gets brighter, it's now setting off my doorbell camera. So tomorrow I will be going to one of the places we've been to with the main yarn cruise, because the store right across from it, they have a spinning mill, and that's where they spin all of the yarn they sell. So I will be touring the mill and possibly getting a job application and maybe a job down the road there. I'm hoping so, actually. Well, I should get to the store for a couple of things I need.
Oh yeah, Mom.
What, child of mine?
Depending on your score will depend on how many tentacles the octopus twists or whatever curls.
Okay. And then Saturday, we're visiting the last 3 stores I need to do for the main yarn cruise to get it stamped off.
I'm gonna get a higher score this time because I.
And on the way to the 3rd one, we'll be stopping by one of the ones we've already gone to. And I do plan on getting a whistle for my nephew that when you blow it, it sounds like a bird. I might end up getting a couple of those whistles, between one for me, one for my child, plus one for my nephew. Because, I mean, you know, those type of whistles you don't see often. And I might have it as a Facebook redemption where I have to blow that for, like,
Okay, finally.
you know, like breathing, you know. I have to blow it, you know, as I breathe for a while.
Yeah, there goes everything. Yeah, I could not see what was happening for a while, and then concentration go bye-bye. It's like, what happened to my concentration?
And apparently it's supposed to actually sound like an actual bird tweeting, so.
Oh, you can even troll Lily.
Yes, I do. That's why I've given it to, you know, a certain nephew of mine, your cousin. You know, because not only could he use it to troll his mommy and daddy and Nana and Papa, he could troll the kitty cat. And me, if I know maintenance is here, I could totally use it to troll maintenance and they think there's a bird inside. Chat, for those who didn't know, I will be the first to admit, I do, you know, I am full of mischief. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to my soon new acquisition.
I love being the trickster. Mass-produced team. That. I'm trying to discharge all these coins. I don't need them. Yes! More of these things. I love them. I love these guys. We get greater progress. I love them. They're especially useful when discharging all these coins, because you can just keep going and going and going and going and going.
Goodness, child.
What? What?
Nothing. You know, actually for the leg warmers, I probably should do a different type of yarn since I don't think I'll have enough to finish the pair, but I could do one. Child, can you pass me the basket with the yarn that's in it, the 3 skeins? Can you pause real quick? There's a white basket with 3 skeins of yarn in it on the table. Yes. Alright, so that will be my backup project with that yarn. That yarn is actually, this is, I ordered it from Canada. They're called the Arcane Fiberworks. This color is inspired by Van Gogh's painting. I don't know if it's Starry Night or one of his other works. But it's called Van Gogh Going Gone is the Dye Lot. Blah, I'm ready for the weekend. This week has been exhausting. Yeah, you'd mentioned things have been busy at work and you're having to train a new person.
There you go, I'll make mine. Yay.
You know, just make sure you take time to take care of yourself so you can get some
Go
much
back.
needed R&R.
Rest and relaxation. Don't slip up or he'll carry you off into the... Oh, so he carries you off into the deep. Confirmed by Monita. Thank you. What was that? What was that thing that I just did? I don't know. Alright. Bye. Alright.
It's minimal training since she's been a temp, but darn, I feel like I've been sprinting all morning. Well, still, when you have a trainee, whether it's temporary or not, it's still difficult because not only are you training them, you have to keep an eye on them to make sure they're doing stuff correctly. You know, it's just extra work. Even if it's not extra work, you're like subconsciously part of you is being very hyper focused on the new person to make sure they're doing okay. I mean, where did I put that? Oh, right over here. Because, I mean, you know, when you got a new person and, you know, trying to train them and show them the works, yeah. Like, and I mean, I deal with that similar. Like, when I have a new student in any of my Aqua Zumba classes, I tend to focus more on them than the rest of my students that have been there for a while. Just because I want to make sure they're getting everything correctly, they're having fun, they're understanding things correctly. And if they need a little help, they give me like, you know, like the, you know, there's a look or expression on their face, if you will. So little things. Fuzzy, the workout is good for you. We're not saying it's not good for him, Ghost. You know, good workouts can be exhausting. They could be a blast, but exhausting. Like, I love Zumba, both teaching it and being a student. But I'm not going to lie, it is exhausting. It is fun, and I enjoy every minute of it. But it's exhausting.
Yay! Now I have to deal with the minute octopus.
My job is very mentally exhausting. All dressed off to go to the store, be back in a few. Alright, see you when you get back, Ghost. Yeah, oh, I bet. Like, there's just some jobs that could be mentally, physically, or both mentally and physically. And I'm sure with what you do with the little that you've shared with me, Fuzzy, with your job, yeah, that would be exhausting. Try food demos. Yeah, with the food demo, Ghost, you do with a combination of both mentally and physically. Because I've done food demo. While, you know, you deal with some idiots with what Fuzzy does. Honestly, Fuzzy, I'm surprised you haven't been locked up in jail for killing somebody. You know, with the type of job you do and the patience you have to have for it and all of that. Because I will be the first to admit, my personality, I would be surprised if one, I stayed sane, and two, I didn't kill somebody.
I don't have to calibrate the controller there.
If I was able to manage that for more than a month, I would actually be surprised. I'm here listening. I had to steam some enemy for my spawn. She wanted tortilla chips and enemy. Hey, no worries. We have a lot of people that we call it working and lurking, like Fuzzy. A lot of times he lurks as he works. Sometimes he can hang out when he's got a moment of, you know, which those moments don't last very long. And besides, children come first. in some cases. If they're not old enough to manage
Some
stuff
cases.
there. I'm saying some cases because in your case, you're old enough to do your own food, to do your own thing.
Good point.
Yeah, good point, she says. I have those every so often, don't I?
Diamond, there you are. I cannot find this guy.
Wishes she could work and lurk, but nope. Work is cell phone free zone, and if you have to check the time. Yeah, depending on what you do, you know, there are some jobs you can work and lurk, and then there's other jobs that no.
They're gonna have to be a 4 count eventually. Because this guy just did 4 counts. 2, 3, 4. Are we gonna have to do the 4 count? I sure hope not. It's hard enough to remember everything with a 3 count. Okay.